Welcome back to another episode of the Final Fantasy XIV experiment. We are back with Sonia's Sastasha on our journey to get to our first landmark in the challenge, while doing all of the side content available to us right now in the areas we have accessed. So we are very, very close to the first checkpoint of the challenge, which was going to be Sastasha. So we're on the quest, pretty much, to go talk to Vimelpa. But what we have to do here is, it looks like we have 2 blue quests in Limsa that we will have to take care of before we can take care of its probably pirates. It's going to be interesting. We all know how it feels to have had one too many. That's why I'll not fault our patrons for much of what goes on at our tables. But is it too much to ask that they keep their belongings on their person when they leave? It wouldn't bother me so much if half of them didn't show up a week later, ranting and raving as if their drunken heedlessness was somehow my fault. Take this impressive-looking journal right here. As oft-used as it seems to be, I've no doubt its owner is tearing up the town searching for his prized possession. Oh my god, I can't talk. A stranger he was, a swarthy Rugadin who enjoyed his drink. Seemed to be getting on well with one of the regulars, Quentinane. Perhaps you could still catch up with him and spare me the headache. I'd offer you a free drink, but the last time I did that, Badron docked my wages. Let me talk to Quentinane before I, pick up that other quest. Have I seen who? Look. Just 'cause I spend more nights at the Wench than in my own home doesn't mean I'm mates with every sod who comes stumbling through the doors. Wait a minute. That book? Why didn't you say so sooner? The tight-ass bastard drained 20 flagons and promptly passed out, leaving yours truly to foot the bill. Said he was heading for Aleport, where else the scurvy stop. Nymea willin', he's still stranded at the ferry docks, though gods know it won't help me get my gil back. So that should be at the same spot as Vimelpa, so I'm instead gonna talk to my friend here. Oh, this is a good quest line. You're either a brave woman or a fool, friend, to be wandering the streets of Limsa today, what with the slasher of Fisherman's Bottom on the loose. You've not heard? There's a madman about. Why, it's said he brandishes blades so long and sharp they could gut a whale. No one's seen any blood yet, but that hasn't stopped the rumors from sending shivers up spines in every alehouse in town. That you're still standing before me tells me you don't scare as easily as the rest. Perhaps you could assist with the investigation. To start with, you might want to look into that scream I just heard outside. Alright, so we'll continue this quest line before we head back toward, the lower decks. Am I recording? Yeah. Oh no, a disgruntled madame.
What are you waiting for? That's him, the slasher. Apprehend him, toss him in jail, and throw away the key. Or gut him and feed his lifeless body to the sharks for all I care. Just do something. Woe is me. Whatever did I do to deserve this cruel fate? For 6 moons I saved every last gil of my husband's hard-earned wage.
I don't know where this accent is going.
Foregoing new shoes, a new purse, sometimes even food for our children, all in anticipation of this day. What's so special about this day, you ask? Why, this marks the arrival of a world-renowned esthetician in Limsa. My endless patience and self-control were to be rewarded with a hair-raising transformation that would have every fashion-conscious lumens and oohing and awing in admiration. Instead, I find myself accosted by this lecherous lout. Speaking of which, aren't you going to do something about this? Go ahead, have your way with him. I doubt he has anything to say for himself.
We'll do /doubt. Oh, the ignominy of it all. Of course you take her side. For shame, is there not one sympathetic ear in this entire nation? An artiste of my renown should be welcomed with open arms and a 21-cannon salute. Instead, I am branded a criminal, the tools of my trade, nay, the extensions of my very soul, ripped unceremoniously from my person like barnacles from the side of a frigate. I will not last long in my weakened state. No, even as we speak, the world around me grows dim. With my dying breaths, I speak unto you three names, three kind souls who may yet put right what has gone so frightfully wrong. Forge-master Hananza at Naldic and Vimelis, Guildmaster Beaton of the Gridanian Carpenters Guild, and Severian at the Alchemist's Guild in Ul'dahn. If there is one ounce of compassion in you, seek them out, and tell them Jean Delane sent you. When my soul is restored and my name rightfully cleared, all of Limsa, nay, the entire realm, will sing your praises, for I, Jean Delane, am none other than Alright, so I'll run down to Naldic and Vimelis, and then we'll swing by Gridania and Ul'dahn before coming back to Limsa. Jean Delane sent you? Let me guess, the barmy fool's lost his tools. Pardon me, the appendages of his very soul, again, and his thrashing and tossing like the end of days is nigh. He brings it on himself. If he toned down the theatrics and went about his work like an earnest craftsman, I dare say he'd save himself these misunderstandings. No, I'm not a whit of sympathy for the fool. You, however, have my pity for indeed having to play audience to his whinging. Any road, this should shut him up for a while. Tell him that if he loses these, I'll graft the next pair into his hands. Alright, so I'm gonna head over to Gridania to the Carpenters Guild. A message from Jean Delane, you say? So he's lost another one. Does the man not understand that wood doesn't simply grow on... Actually, it does. At least in a manner of speaking. But the fact remains that our resources are in short supply. For all his flowery words, if his tools were truly an extension of his very being, one would think he'd find a way to hold on to them for more than a fortnight or two. Jean Delane's skills are not to be doubted, but his temperament leaves much to be desired. Still, it's not my place to judge. Take this to him, and let us both hope that he will right his ways. While I'm here in Gridania, I'm just gonna double check that I don't have any quests to pick up. Alright, perfect. And while I'm here, I'm also going to run all the way up to Jonathas at the Achievement Exchange. Probably going to fast forward through the whole thing, but just so you guys know, that's what I'm going to be doing before we move on to Ul'dahn. You've come on behalf of Jean Delane? Well, I just furnished him with a fresh batch of my special creations last week. I realize the man's services are in demand, but it would be physically impossible for him to exhaust the entire supply so soon. Stolen, you say? An unfortunate turn of events indeed, if not entirely unexpected. You see, the man is something of a genius, and genius is often misunderstood by modest minds. Trust me, as I speak from extensive personal experience. Yes, great minds must band together in trying times, lest the realm be deprived of talents. And so I command you, deliver this parcel to Jean Delane with speed. I would love to do that. Let me just try my best to look at the rest of Ul'dahn and make sure I don't have any quest pickups, and it doesn't look like I do. Oh, it doesn't look like I do because I had that open. Okay, I don't see anything there. And these are all the job quests. Level 38? Well, I'm not level 38. But what is it? Ah, yes. The cutter's cry. We won't worry about that until later on. Alright, back to Limsa. Can I return? I think I'm from Ul'dah. I should have used my return when I came back to Ul'dah. Oh, man. Alright. Back to Limsa. I spent 500 gil going to Ul'dah instead of hitting return. Did I check the Puggy Guild? It would tell me if I had a job quest. And I don't. Okay, awesome. There's an ounce of compassion in you, friend. I beg of you, retrieve from me these tools of my trade, for I am none other than Jandalain this... Could this be? Yes, I can feel it. The light returns to my eyes. Power courses through my fingers. I live. And as I live, this unspeakable embodiment of ugliness must die. Begone, foul demon. And so I ask, how do you feel, madam?
Why, it's as if, but in a single magnificent moment, I traveled beyond the void and returned to life as the embodiment of all that is beautiful in this world. Could it be? Yes, it must. How else can I explain such power? You're the one whose coming was foretold. You, yes, you are the esthetician.
In the flesh, madame. I am Jandalain, the crafter of coiffures, so divine that Menfina herself doth begrudge my clientele of their beauty. But let us speak for you, madame. For a moment ago stood for fashion-challenged frump. Now there stands a beauty reborn. And you are the one I must thank for reviving my soul, that I once again bestow you my gifts on a realm bereft of beauty, a kindness I intend to repay in full. Do you fear that your own hairstyle is becoming passé? Fear the spectre of ugliness threatening to consume you? Fear not, friend, for it shall not survive my wrath. As the madame before you, as this very realm we call home from an abyss of unfathomable... I can't get it out of my mouth anymore.
My clients have been known to make reservations moons, even years in advance, but you shall know no such troubles. No, for proving a staunch ally to good taste when all others turned a blind eye, I gladly place myself at your beck and call. Yes, the next time you find yourself plagued by aesthetic ennui, you need only ring the crystal bell from the comfort of any inn-room at which you have taken up lodgings. Jean shall hasten to the scene. Yes, in a flash the dreary, uninspired life you have hitherto known shall end. You shall travel to the realm beyond and return to us as a beauty reborn. I give you this as a token of trust between us. Treasure it, for it is the key to a world of aesthetic wonders ordinary women shall never know.
Chandelier, do come back! I'm not...
I love that quest. It is so cute. So I've now unlocked the Esthetician. The Esthetician is now available. You have befriended Chandelier. By using the crystal bell found in your room, you can call upon the services of the flamboyant Esthetician. From hairstyle and color to face paint, he can create a new look for you for a mere 2,000 gil. Whenever you feel like a change, Chandelier is your man. And we'll go take a look at that right now, just so you guys can see what it looks like once you do that, and talk about more options for Hrothgar, because there aren't very many. So you go to any inn room at one of the hub cities, and you'll enter into the crystal bell, so just hit that. As once did this very realm, from the darkest depths of unseemly ugliness shall you rise anew. Prepare yourself. While customizing your appearance, you'll be unable to communicate with players and engage in other activities. So, basically this takes you outside of the game, so you're back in that original character creation screen. So here it's going to be very condensed version of what's usually in that character creation menu. So just things that are aesthetic are things that can change. So anything that would be more permanent, like your character's eye color, you cannot change with the Esthetician. But for example, you wanted to change your hairstyle, you can go in here and do just that. So just like that. So right now I have this one, and I can go through and pick whatever hairstyle I want for my character to have. I am tempted to do this one. I do like it. Could play with it for a little while and see what we think. It's just the Hrothgar hairs kind of suck, you know? Like, they really should just add more options for Hrothgar to have. Because this is pretty, it shows her face. But I do like this. I feel like it's like not all the way though. Like, it's got straight hair underneath. Which isn't really how that hair is supposed to look, whatever. But here you can also adjust your fur color, which is going to be the hair. I'm going to leave it how it is, I think. The blonde looks cool, but then I get into too much, like, Aaron Hansen type stuff. Here, so you can put on your equipped gear to see what you are wanting to change looks with the gear that you have equipped. You can take it off your hat and glasses so you can see that, and you can go back into your small clothes. So for Hrothgar specifically, if I wanted to change her patterns or anything like that, I could do that in here and see how it would reflect across her body. Then I'll go back to equipped. But I think all this stuff looks pretty good. I don't think I have any face paint on her. I might keep it that way. I don't know what else I would include on. Oh, apparently I do. Okay, I'll leave it all the same. So we're just going to change her hair today. So we're going to hit the check mark to finalize your character's appearance. And then, because when you complete the quest, Jandelin gives you these envelopes that you keep in your inventory. You get 3 of those, so as long as you have those, you can use a token to pay, and it's completely free to use the esthetician the first 3 times you do. Where once stood a disheveled shell of a woman, there now shines a beauty reborn. Alright, so I have a new haircut. So that was the side quest that was there, and now we're going to run down by the Fisherman's Guild to continue our next side quest in the MSQ. We're making solid progress today. Alright, so we've landed at the Low Minson Ferry docks. I see the swarthy Rogadin here. If you have business with me, be quick about it. My ferry and my next great adventure await. My journal! I thought I'd lost it forever. Pardon my rudeness, friend. Perhaps I should have stopped after 19 flagons. Ha ha! Did you steal a glance at its pages, perchance? No? A shame that, for this book contains, how might I say it, a record of my numerous adventures. Quite the interesting read, if I do say so myself, which I believe I just did. You've the air of an adventurer about you, if one still untested, but take heart. Even the most accomplished adventurer, and I speak from personal experience, was once a whelp with more dreams than sense. Were there only some way for me to repay your... But of course! I've a fresh journal right here that might as well have your name on it. Why not keep a record of your own, that one day we might regale each other with stories of our own deeds? And with that I'll be off, adventurer, and a flagon or 20 of the realm's finest ale calls me. Fare you well on your journey, and next time you find yourself at the Wench, do thank that Ellison fellow for his generosity. Ha ha! You now have access to the challenge log, which will serve as a record of your adventuring exploits. To open it, select logs from the main menu, followed by challenge log. The challenge log contains a list of adventuring objectives across a wide range of categories. Completing any one of these objectives will earn you rewards. Completion status is reset on a weekly basis, and it is possible to undertake the challenges repeatedly. Each unique challenge you complete counts toward the overall completion category, which yields additional rewards. As you progress in level and advance in the scenario, more challenge objectives will become available, giving you the chance to garner richer bonuses. So things that are in the challenge log, I honestly, most of the time, don't really look at what's in there. But these are just things that you're gonna usually end up doing on your own anyway. Complete guild tests, vote for commendations, do some fates, do some crafting and gathering, do some lev quests. Some of the later ones, like, retainers, it's like send out your retainer X amount of times, play games at the Gold Saucer, open treasure chests, that type of thing. So it's pretty easy to passively complete your challenge log. You're here about Commodore Raynor's investigation? Then you'll want to board a ferry bound for Aleport. Once you arrive in Western Lenosha, though, you'd best pay a visit to the Hall of the Novice before you blunder into Sastasha. The Adventurers Guild runs the hall, and the folk there will prepare you, train you, with the skills that you'll need to face the dangers undoubtedly waiting for you in the Sea Grot. The hall is on the way to Sastasha, just north of Aleport. Head inside, and one of their seasoned adventurers will take you in hand. Best of luck to you, friend. Alright, so we are purchasing passage to Aleport. Alright, it is my first time in Western Lenosha, so we will have some things to do. Some side quests and unlocks to get. So first let me go attune to the Aetheryte in Aleport, and then we'll pick up these side quests. So we went to Aleport and went and unlocked the Aetheryte at Swift Perch as well. But what I used to come back was a Chocobo Porter. I don't use them very often, but I was feeling a little lazy. While mounted on a Chocobo Porter, a Chocobo icon will appear in your status effects bar. You can end your ride at any time by selecting Dismount from the hotbar. Be aware, however, that once you have dismounted, the Chocobo or Falcon will continue to their destination, leaving you behind. So basically what that means is you can pay the gale and hire a Chocobo, but the moment you get off, your ride is over, so it's not going to wait for you. But I guess I will start at the bottom of the deck there with On a Wing and a Prayer. Dock, not deck. Ahoy, adventurer. My tub sails soon, and I have to have me a little something for the journey. You know, in Longlegs, when he walks up to the cashier in the hardware store and he's just like,
let me in now, and it can be nice.
That's me. I hate to compare myself to Longlegs, but I'm just telling the truth now. The dusk bats are flying. Think yourself lightsome enough to bring me 5 wings. 4 won't do, and 6 is no good, mind you. Welcome you are to keep any surfeits, so long as you know what to do with them. You'll bring me the wings? Okay, so we have that one unlocked, and let's see what the leaves of Aleport are. You in need of work, lass? Name's Orwin, and I'm a representative of the Adventurers Guild. Notice the hat? I keep a record of tasks, what the locals need doing, and dole 'em out to adventurers what look capable. Now, you look capable, but the last sod I reckon was tough enough got his face bit off by a wharf rat. You need to prove to me you can handle my jobs. Take a look at this here task. Does that seem like something you could do? Yes. Mimi Rune likes sparkly shinies. Oh my god, it's a keycurd. Oh my god. I'm in, except. Alright then, you need to beckon to your client, Mimi Rune, to help him to da-da-da-da-da-da. We've done one just like this with a Gobby already, but... Mimi Rune! He's gonna be a little... Oh, it's a keycurd! What a beautiful world we live in. You look like an adventurer who gets thrown around. Mayhap you've noticed the curls and jackals at each other's throat of late. I've never seen anything quite like it, and the bloodshed only worsens by the day. If this continues, I dare say one of these groups will wipe out the other before long. Now it bears mentioning that this species of curl isn't native to Vilbrand. By rights, they shouldn't even be here. Nay, I believe they were smuggled. I know of a merchant who may have had a hand in these dealings. Her name is Rakantai, and after some probing, I've come to believe she's somehow involved. I would question her myself, but she's like to flee at the first sight of yellow. That's where you come in. I need you to speak with her and learn all you can. Take a look around. She's bound to be nearby. So, for those of you who have progressed the game past this point and have done Sastasha already, that is a little reference to Sastasha. In that, you'll notice once we actually get into the dungeon, some of those curls will, Curls and wild dogs, actually, will be prevalent in there.
What's this? So they've sent you to do their dirty work? Well, you're never gonna take me alive!
Yeah, let me go get this other, side quest before I go down there. Just give me a minute. I should get the wind-up key current minion. That'd be cute. I can go get one at a market board the next time I'm in a city-state. Don't call it a comeback. I've key current for years. Oh, God. Hark! In the sky. Pull yourselves together, Private. You've been trained for this. Even if the only action you've ever seen has been a street fights, tavern brawls, and fisticuffs over who cheated at checkers. First things first, I must, ready the cannon. Now to walk myself through the steps. Right. Make certain you are with succor, for arming a cannon is no swift matter. So far, so good. I'll just get Camille and... Camille? That girl, always nowhere to be found when she's needed. Fine, Sarge always said to improvise. You over there, adventurer. Limsalo Mensa has need of your service. Slow down the enemy while I arm the cannon. I'll be ready ere the 5th carcass is cold, I promise you. Alright, so I am going to start completing these side quests.
Please don't hurt me. I didn't do anything wrong. Smuggled in the curls for breeding like you asked, but that's it. I'm not the one sending the jackals into a frenzy, I swear. The Yellow Jackets sent you and not the pirates? Why didn't you say so earlier? Well, you've caught me. Behind the curls in Nailport. Those good-for-nothing pirates had me breeding jackals for 'em, too. With the right training, they make for nasty watchdogs and the like. But the pirates wanted more, and that's why they asked me for the curls. That they did. I smuggled 'em in, but the pirates took 'em before I could finish the job. Suppose they didn't want to wait for the breeding, but the buggers let 'em escape. Now they have jackals on the loose trying to get rid of the curls and clean their mess. I'm a victim as well, you know. They paid good for the animals, but now they got folk chasing after me, wanting to cover their tracks, I'm sure. You hurry and tell those Yellow Jackets I ain't to blame, you hear?
Ah, you're back. What can you tell me of Racontai's dealings? She claims to be a victim as well? It was her greed that brought the curls to Vilbren, and she's sorely mistaken to think the Yellow Jackets will turn a blind eye. Mark my words, she will be held accountable. At any rate, we now know why the curls and jackals are trying to tear each other to shreds. The pirates have been quite careful not to leave any clues, but we've managed to capture Racontai's assailants. They're being questioned as we speak, and it won't be long before we track down the pirates. Don't worry, friend. The Yellow Jackets will see them brought to justice. In the meantime, there is still the matter of Racontai and the beasts running amuck in the fields. I shudder to think what might happen should the jackals and curls continue fighting for much longer. I have a plan, but your assistance is essential to its success. Let me know when you're ready to begin. Okay, so we have Man's Best Fiend and Curiosity Killed the Curl. Alright. Racontai has admitted to breeding jackals for pirates, but I fear she may be concealing more to be smuggled elsewhere. I bid you speak with her once more to prove my suspicions true. If she wishes to play the role of the victim, perhaps this time she'll be more forthcoming with the information. Tell her that although we cannot grant her impunity, her cooperation will ensure lighter sentencing. Now then, we need to do something about the curls running wild in Vilbrand. Jackals have greatly reduced their numbers, but the presence of curls will upset the balance of predation in Aleport. Given time, they will establish a breeding population and perhaps prey even more on prey upon. Okay, perhaps. I've lost it. It's me, Benoit Blanc. A large number of merchants, sailors, and travelers pass through Airport daily, meaning a great number of people will be at risk unless we stop the curls here and now. As much as it pains me to say this, they must be done away with. I like this no more than you, but we Yellow Jackets must put the safety of the people above all else. Reports indicate that curls were last sighted somewhere in Skull Valley. When you're ready, pray seek 'em out and do what needs to be done. So we have plenty of quests to do. Both of those quests, by the way, that we just got from this gentleman, Scribbled, are completely optional. They get skipped a lot, but they give you free minions, some of the first minions you can get in the game. The Yellow Jackets want to know if I'm hiding more jackals? Fine, I'll come clean if it means preserving my liberty. All the jackals are long gone, but there's a wolf pup I was looking after not too far from here. Jackals are easy to come by in Aleport, but wolves? You can be sure folk will pay good money for 'em. With the Yellow Jackets breathing down my neck of late, though, I haven't had time to care for him. The poor thing's probably too weak from hunger to move. I'll tell you where I hid him, but if you want to take him, best move now. With the curls running wild and killing the pirates, jackals, and all, it won't be long before they start snooping about for more animals. I have to warn you, though, he may be a pup, but he'll likely make a meal of anyone what gets close to him. Try winning over his stomach with this here succulent bone, and if that ain't enough, try rubbing his belly to soothe him. You can bet he'll be following you everywhere. I left the critter in Quarterstone. Hurry, before the pirates find him. Alright, so we'll start at the top there, and then work our way down. That was probably on like 1,000 speed. Fast forward. But I am going to turn in all of my quests so far, except for that one. So maybe I should just go out and do that one, huh? Well, let's see what the Levmet says, and if he has anything else that I need to do that's out there. I did get a weapon that I can't use for my job. So let's see what he has for me. And it looks like I can do all of these. Alright. The Serpent Reavers, heartless villains who have sold their souls to the Sahagin for a dream of endless plunder, have increased activity along the Deneville West Road, preying upon weary travelers. The Yellow Jackets cannot well cover the whole area and seek adventurers willing to volunteer their blades for irregular patrols. I'm so looking to increase my brewery's output, but to do so requires a steady supply of quality barley. The farms around Aleport are already under contract with several other brewers and have no more grain to sell, but I've heard word of growers in Swift Perch who might be willing to part with some portion of their crop. As I'm not a disciple of any of the martial or magical arts, I fear that I might not make it to the settlement with my life, and therefore am looking to hire an escort who will see my safety until arriving in Swift Perch. Last night, a large swath of our barley fields was trampled by what appeared to be several of the local aurochs. The quiet beasts had never approached the fields before, so the other brewers and I went to see if aught was amiss. Lo and behold, we found that the aurochs had been bitten by blood-sucking bats and were no longer right in the head. We put the poor creatures down, but were unable to find the culprits. If the bats are not found and eliminated, we risk losing our whole crop. No doubt you've seen the giant aurochs which graze in the nearby hills. Word has it they were brought over from some far-off land generations ago to be raised and bred for their milk and meat. The Calamity saw that experiment to an end, and now the remaining beasts have grown wild and taken to attacking their former masters. I reckon, however, that if one were able to pacify the creatures, they could once again be domesticated. My distillery could use a few strong aurochs to bear bourbon cask to Limsa, and I'd be willing to pay any man who could accommodate me. What about a woman? Ha-ha. Alright, no more guild levs right now, so I will do some turn-ins and then do the rest of the lev quests and that side quest that's over there. Ahoy there. Keep your voice down. Nobody's business but ours in it. You got what I asked for? Them's the ones, and that's as pretty a job as I've seen. Know your way around a battle, hey? Why, we sailors can be a superstitious lot, you know. Some of the crew might look at me odd for carrying bat parts. When the wind's done died and the water casks are dry, it's odd one day, overboard the next. What? No superstition about that. The Dusker's been my luck since I was a boy. Survived more than 2 weeks once on 3 bats I caught, trapped at the top of an abandoned watchtower. Even ate a wing off one before I made up my mind to climb down the wall. This journey will be sailing past the Isles of Umbra, and I can feel the sea honing those rifts. The lights at Pharaoh Sirius burn dim since the Calamity, and I've always found it a mite too much like that old watchtower for comfort. I ain't been that affrighted boy in a long time, ill-used, starved, and more'n half mad, inching down that sandstone wall on handholds no bigger than a fingertip. But I'll have me 5 bat wings on every journey, just the same as that boy had. Ahoy, Sonia. Clean slipped my mind the last time, but I've another thing to ask of you. My bearings are lively on water, but on land, well, I'm what landlubbers call at sea. Got a letter that needs delivering, and you're the maid for it. I went ashore on some rock on the voyage in. And a faded petticoat comes up to me, says she's got a daughter in Camp Skull Valley, which she hadn't seen in years. Had tears in her eyes, pretty eyes too, for a woman past her child in years. She must have been a real beauty in her day. Always had a soft spot for tawny eyes. Mayhap because the sea is a green-eyed virago, and the skies, her sisters, have eyes blue and red, grey and black. Well, this daughter of hers goes by Wildswiss. You'll take the letter to her? Welcome back, adventurer. How'd you fare against the Curls in Skull Valley? I see. So this baby Curl is all that remains. It's truly a shame it came to this. Most of the jackals died fighting against Curls, but it would seem you slew the pirate's last litter while saving this one. Let us at least take solace in knowing that the bloodshed has ended. There's a bit of good news to be had, however. I received word not long ago that a group of pirates related to our investigation was taken into custody. To instigate such carnage without scruple, the true animals in this case have been placed behind bars. With any luck, their leader and remaining members will join them shortly. But what to do with this baby Curl? He seems quite fond of you, almost as if you're his mother. The Yellowjackets aren't fit to care for a Curl, especially when full grown, but we cannot simply release him back into the wilds. I suppose there is only one option. Friend, I'll leave this baby Curl in your capable hands. I'm sure you'll do what's best for him. Alright, so we have our first minion for these 2 side quests, the Curl Kitten. So I'll use that. I can now summon my Curl Kitten minion. So to do that, just like how I've had my Lulu following me, you'd go to character and then to your minion guide, and you'll see the Curl Kitten, and I can summon him and have him follow me if I want. Very cute, very cute. So I'll have them follow me around for a little bit. And then I'll just run up and turn in this next quest as well. Higher. Keep my promises, adventurer, and you keep your skills well honed, I see. Moment, I just received dispatch. What? They weren't attacking Ailport? Well, that's... What, we're not important enough? They were babies. Well, you'd have to be duller than a box of hair to fly at a cannon position, times being what they are. I suppose all's well that ends well, but I must admit I was looking forward to putting my training to real use. I didn't join the Maelstrom to break up brawls, you know. Now, I'll have to clean the cannon. Alright, I'm gonna take my Britain's pieces. She has another quest for me. Well, I made a right mess of things the other day. Commander Folkbreda said she'd dock my pay if I pulled something like that again. At least I didn't get tossed in the brig like Kamel. As I have been very chary since, you can be certain of that. I've little enough coin as is in the pay purse to slake my thirst with, but this time there's a real attack on Ailport, and off I go to arm the cannon, save Ailport from those bloodbaths on four legs, and we'll see what the commander has to say about my pay then. Adventure for Ailport and glory, slow down the horde. I'm certain to be ready by the time you slaughter 5. Alright, so I'm just gonna... Oh, I think this is one of those... Yeah. So this has always made me upset about Ailport. If anybody can answer in the comments why this happens, let me know. You actually cannot jump off of Ailport. Like, you can't jump down below. Like, most other cities that are built like this, you'd be able to climb the wall and just jump off and then end up on the outside of the city. You cannot do that with Ailport. Alright, I'm going to make my way to Mummy Dearest and work my way down from there all the way till we hit Man's Best Fiend. Greetings, adventurer. They said you were looking for me. A letter from Mama? I haven't heard from her in so long. She never answered my letters. Stay, for I'll have a reply to send. What the... The stone-hearted grasp hag let me take so much as a hunk of dried fish when I left the island, and now she wants Gil? That succubus! You think me cold? Well, fie on what you think. I wanted something better than tilling salty fields and spilling small fry out of the nets, and occasionally taking a passing sailor into my bed for more of the same. She'll receive no reply from me. Thank you for your service, and good day to you. Oh, I actually have better shoes than what I've been wearing. I will take those. Nice. Oh, she has a quest for me, too. Real quick, let me equip my new shoes. Nice. Oh my goodness. They sure do make my pants look interesting. Weapons and armor in order. Saltpeter in order. Basic provisions all in order. Poisons... oh. This vial's near gone. Adventurer. Sonya, was it? Mayhap we can let bygones be bygones. You're skilled in wrangling beasts, I hear, and I have need of a pelican poison. The poisons can be readily gathered from pelicans in the area, but I must continue my duties here. Are you so minded to undertake the task? So I will collect poison from the pelicans. I welcome your return, adventurer. Have you what I asked for? I see you weren't stinting in filling the vials. The last adventurer returned with barely half full and had the cheek to demand full payment. I've had low opinion of adventurers since, but you know of our past with the kobolds, but they are not the foe we fight today. Nay, all our guns are trained on the Sahagin. Such a wee thing, this vial, but this too is a gun. So susceptible the Sahagin are to pelican poison that even the rawest recruit might, with a poison-tipped arrow, find herself a fisher of beastmen. There was a settlement here once near Halfstone, when then the primal Leviathan rose and Sahagin invaded. Work of generations was undone in a season, and whole families perished. I never knew the Halfstone settlement, but I believe it to be home worth fighting for, and so we fight, with steel, fire, and even poison, to reclaim that which is ours. Camp Skull Valley was built to hold against attacks from the sea. To the north and south lie narrow channels with the tide gate each to hold the Sahagin at bay. Will you deliver a bottle of lowland wine to the captains of the north and south tide gate? Call it a small privilege of the quartermaster. Please take the first bottle to Captain Sthalret of South Tide Gate. Hail, adventurer! What brings you to South Tide Gate? Bottle of Lowland from Sergeant Wiltswis. Now isn't that something? And isn't she something? Crisp yet full-bodied is my guess. You know, didn't think I had a chance with a woman like that, but it looks like she's sweet on me. Always was popular with the fairer sex, if I say so myself. I have a brother. You heard about that? He's the captain of the North Tide Gate. Like his peas in a pod, they say. But they never pop those peas out of the pod, if you take my meaning. Wiltfits. Got a way about her, she does. Cool as spray, but there's fire there. And welcome she is to show me the light and scorch of every stitch between the two of us. Wow. Oh, there you are. Did Captain Thalret receive it well? The other bottle is for Captain Northmoan of North Tidegate. I should have mentioned, they're brothers in blood as well as arms. You'd think them closer for it, but the bickering is well nigh consistent. Adventurer, North Tidegate is no place for idlers. Viltswiss, the quartermaster, that mousy-looking girl. Still, she has excellent taste in wine and must be a mind-reader, for I've a supper of ocean cloud waiting that wants nothing more than a glass of lowland vintage. So, send you over with a bottle just for me, huh? What? Send one to that back berth in South Tidegate, too? Oh, you know what he's gonna think now, that she's his for the taking, that strutting... Well, he's got another thing coming. Misunderstanding an innocent kindness like that. She's a quartermaster. Doesn't he know this is a professional interest? That goatish fool! I won't have him bothering that lovely girl. Okay, so I'm gonna park right here next to Alir Loaf. And I will say that, unfortunately, despite the amount of effort we've put into this episode, this is going to be the end of this episode of the Final Fantasy XIV experiment for this week. We have been recording for over an hour, nearly an hour and a half, actually. So we will not be able to make it to Sastasha in this one. But that means that we should definitely make it to Sastasha in the next one. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will definitely see you back as soon as humanly possible to get us to Sastasha so we can start playing with Ludwig once again. Thanks so much. Bye.